This event is of course dedicated to acknowledging and rewarding people on the island who dedicate themselves to helping our community. People who give an hour on hour of their time, mostly voluntarily as well, to help others without whom Guernsey would be immeasurably poorer. The foundation, which is here to promote effective philanthropy, sees this evening as a really important celebration of Guernsey's vibrant voluntary sector. And, of course, its extraordinary community spirit and the many, many acts of altruism that make this island a rather good place to live. So you're saying that charities, really, to succeed in this day and age, need to be run more like businesses than charities?
Very much so. If we don't, it's Entrepreneur Week, I believe, this week, and we all have to be entrepreneurial in the way that we approach our organisation, our charities, and we all have to work together. It's one of the big things that we do at the GSPC. We do try. We've got Anne in the room from St Andrew's Floral Group. That's brought in lots of new volunteers, lots of new ways of thinking, and it all helps aim for us doing what our core aims are, which are education, bringing people in and letting the community at large know what we do.
The winner for the award for the Organising Committee of the Year is Floral Forest.
Every Monday we get together deadheading and at other times, so it's a real highlight to meet with the ladies of the forest, so thank you.
Sounds like a heavy metal band, doesn't it?
I am delighted to present this trophy to Investec Guernsey.
We've got really high participation rate, and actually of all the offices of Investec in the UK, actually the participation rate of the Guernsey office is one of the highest. So no, people are really keen to get involved, and as I say, it's really rewarding, and you often see the children out and about with at the weekends in supermarkets, and you say hello and they'll say, and the parent is going, who's that? And that's the lady from Investec.
The winner is Charlotte Wospel.
You're not getting paid for it, and that's what makes it even more special, is that everyone involved is doing it just because they love it, and it's a great social aspect as well, and you get to meet lots of new people, make friends.
The winner, therefore, of the award for fundraising Team of the Year, Ernie's Angels.
Ernie loved cheese. One of the things he ate while he was ill was all different types of cheese. My mum and I went round one day and were given some thought grey blue cheese to try, and he just loved it. And he also visited the dairy on a number of occasions.
So brilliant, innovative choice.
Absolutely.
I am delighted to present the trophy and a cheque for £2,000 on behalf of Specsavers to the Pollinator Project.
Bees and butterflies are such tiny parts of our world, really, but when you see an environment and an ecosystem that's working and thriving, it actually brings an enormous amount of pleasure to people. So that's what we're really about.
The winner of the award for Outstanding Individual Achievement is John Honour.
We exist because there are people on the island in need. There's a whole load of different organisations involved in helping those. We're just one of many. And like I say, if we didn't need to exist, we wouldn't. But all the time that there are people who do have needs, we'll find different ways in which we can serve them. But we work with a whole load of statutory and non-statutory organisations just to provide help and care for those who need it.
Chosen for having consistently delivered outstanding service, for having demonstrated excellence with all of its projects, successfully promoted its cause through effective and far-reaching campaigns, and for becoming the go-to service for mental health and well-being for employers and individuals alike. The winner of the award for Charity of the Year is Guernsey Mind.
I think the biggest challenge has always been stigma, so that's about people coming forward and being able to admit it as early as possible to get the right help. But I think that's changing hugely, and this is why it's so special for us to win this award, because we're finally seeing that mental health is top of the priorities, and it's brilliant.
One of our big projects is working with employers, and the success of that in terms of us getting into employers, talking to them about how we can help them support their staff, and in turn then basically support the wider community with regard to mental health. It's been massive, a massive shift in a relatively short space of time.
The Guernsey Charity of the Year, Guernsey Mind.
As Jim said at the beginning, promoting effective philanthropy, the well-directed giving of money, time and ideas is what we aspire to. And in the impact report, that a copy of which is on your table, we've highlighted some of those areas. Now we are able to advise and assist in the distribution of over £1 million a year directly into the voluntary sector. In May of this year, we launched our strategy for the voluntary sector. A key part of that is the partnership between the Guernsey Community Foundation, the Association of Guernsey Charities and the States of Guernsey.
Finally, just gives me an opportunity once again, I think perhaps on behalf of all of you, to thank Wayne, Jim and everybody associated with the Community Foundation for what it has done to date, for what it's done this evening and for what I know it will do over the next 12 months. Thank you very much, Wayne.
Dave was one of the three founders of the Community Foundation and has very much been involved from its outset. Dave, on behalf of the Foundation, has done an amazing job at identifying sources of money. We'd like to give you a little something to add to your mantelpiece by way of our appreciation. Dave, thank you so much. So in closing, it's been particularly a national week that supports the roles of trustees. What better way than this evening for us to say thank you. Thank you to the individuals, to the organisations across the bailiwick that make Guernsey a better community as a result of your efforts. Congratulations to all of the nominees, to everybody here this evening that supports our wonderful voluntary sector and our community. Thank you all.
Well, it was just a group of volunteers who give a lot of time to come out and do deadheading and being on the committee and helping with the flowers and enhancing the parish.
There isn't a lot of money for the end of care for children with cancer and leukemia, and so what we're aiming to do is raise money so that people who have a loss of a child or are facing palliative care can be helped in some significant way.
It's trying to get this as an example so people can do the same thing in their own gardens. Because the whole aim of this project is to get people to put aside only 10% of their gardens. It will make a massive difference to the amount of area in Guernsey that's available for wildlife, not just for pollinators, but for all wildlife.
One thing that I do, which I'm really passionate about, is Meals on Wheels. And people don't really tend to think about it and how people are so lonely. And sometimes when you go in there, you know that you're the only person that they're talking to that day. So I think that makes a massive difference to these people that are on their own.
We're actually seeing some results now, and there's some tangible evidence of the impact that we're having. But I think it also for our staff, it's the reward, and I touched on this when I was interviewed on stage. It's the reward we get from going into the school, and the appreciation that you have from the children, and that interaction with the children is absolutely fantastic.
There's always going to be relative poverty on the island, sadly, and it's finding creative ways in which we can meet people's needs. Food banks were growing exponentially in the UK. There were some small food banks here, but we thought that we'd like to involve more of the community, more of the churches, more of the supermarkets in donating generously so that we could then give that to people who are in need. And it seems to have touched something in people and inspired generosity. So we're really pleased about that.
Well, I mean, we put a huge amount of work into our employment project, and that's really starting to take off now and make a real difference. But some of our social media campaigns, campaigns like Stop Male Suicide, that was massively well received. So those types of things really help kind of to raise the profile, to help tackle stigma, and so we're really pleased with the success of all that work.